Welcome to the Astronaut Arcade Podcast, where your space hosts Andromeda, Cowboy, and Ranger share the latest information on anything video game related. Today we'll be talking about a few things, like why haven't I been here in a while, our new host, and Disney Dreamlight Valley with our special guest. So, without further ado, let's begin the countdown to launch. Welcome back to the Astronaut Arcade Podcast. Now, we have decided to consider this our episode 30, season 2 of the Astronaut Arcade Podcast with new hosts, new fun, and new exciting shenanery and bullshit. Because we know that I can't stay on topic, and 90% of the things that are going to come out of my mouth in this and every episode is not going to be related to what we're talking about at all. So, welcome back. And this is my first day back on the podcast in, I would say, almost 3 months now. I do believe it's been about 3 months. Yeah, it's been 3 months since I've been here. And, you know, a lot of you know I did have a lot going on. I got myself into a bit of a funk. I was very open about this in the announcements that I did have a problem starting New Year's. I kind of fell off the wagon. I started drinking again. I started just sliding downhill with my mental health and, everything going on with my life. And it was a bit of a struggle. I pushed a lot of my friends away. I told a lot of people that I wasn't going to be around anymore. I wasn't going to talk much. And, I just kept to myself and drank myself into an even deeper, depression, and it took a toll on me. I got to the point where I had to say, enough is enough. I went and got help. I joined Alcoholics Anonymous. I've just been focused on taking care of myself and getting myself where I need to be not only a good friend or a good podcast host, but a better father, a better me, because I can do this all day long. I can come on this show and I can talk about whatever I want to talk about, but that doesn't make me the best me. And coming on every week, talking about different things, spending time with my friends, I got to the point where I felt like I was lying to everybody because I wasn't me anymore. I was, just pretending. And I didn't want to do that anymore. So like I said, I did go get help. I have been working very hard on myself. And I'm starting to get to a place where I'm enjoying myself again and I'm okay. And that's where I want to be. And, now I'm going to come back and start working on these things like this podcast and, my friendships that I did hurt in the process. And there's a few of them. And so to everybody out there, I am sorry I haven't been here. If I did create some distance between us during that time I was struggling, I'm sorry for that. I thought I was doing the best thing by taking myself out of people's lives, and it wasn't. It was just, self-destruction. But I'm glad to be where I am now. Today marks 2 days not 2 days, 2 months sober for me. After I finish this podcast, I will be going to one of my meetings I have every day, and I will be receiving my 2-month chip, and I'm super excited about that. It's been a bumpy road to get here, and I'm happy I got here. So, that's it. Why I haven't been here. I want to say a big shout out and thank you for everyone that's come on the show and shown their support to me and what I was going through and what I've been dealing with, and all my friends that have really been there for me and, you know, stood by my side even though I was a problem at one point. I did cause problems with friendships and relationships, and I'm glad that, y'all have stuck beside me, my friends have stuck beside me, and I can't show enough gratitude to that. Now, the next bit of news, um, we do have a new host. Our new host, Miss Sapphire, will be joining us from now on. Say hi to everybody, Miss Sapphire.
Jeez, it didn't even record it. Hello, everyone.
Um, we've known each other a little while. She's been a member of the different discords that I've been in, and she's been a good friend through Dizzy Gaming, and we've played a lot together lately. We've gotten a lot closer as friends, and she's been very good support for me. And reached out and asked her, hey, would you be interested in doing this? And she, was nervous, wasn't too sure, but I kind of said, I'm not giving you an option. You got to do it. So she's here. And to add on to that, Ranger, y'all know he's been a host with us from the beginning. He kind of took over things and kept things going while I was out and while Andromeda's been out. He has decided to step down from the show so he can spend more time with his family. We support that. Much love to you, bro. I've thoroughly enjoyed your time here on the podcast with us. I thoroughly appreciate our friendship and everything you've done to keep this thing going. And much love, dude. I hope you enjoy your time with your family. I hope everything goes well for you. And, congrats on everything going on with your life, man. And thank you for keeping things going for us. Um, with with that being said, we have our special guest today. And she has decided very graciously to put up with my shenanigans again. Don't know why. But you all know her. You all love her. She is my favorite, absolute favorite streamer of all time, and a very good friend, Miss Squirreliest of Squirrels. Just glad to be here. Welcome back.
It didn't pick up my hello, but hello.
Apparently, Discord says, we don't want to listen to anybody today.
I guess not.
So,
Why not?
Yeah, I said hello, and I looked around, and I was like, am I muted?
It is what it is. Discord has been playing a lot of games with us lately. They don't like us anymore. They said, their podcast is just so disorganized. We're just gonna, mute them all and keep them that way. But boo, we're gonna get through it anyways. How are you, Miss Morgan?
Great, thanks. Life's been really good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it.
Well, thanks for having me.
Of course, we love you. Even when you put me in timeout for 10 minutes for no reason whatsoever.
I didn't mean to do that one time. It just kind of happened. No, but I also wanted to say to you, I'm proud of the 2 months for you, dude. That's a huge accomplishment. I have a family friend, somebody who's very, very close to me who had a really rough time a couple of months ago, and he actually just had his 6 months today. So congratulations to you, dude.
Yeah, it's been rough, I love where I'm at in life right now. I'm getting to a great place, and that's where I need to be. I don't want to focus on too many things. I've been taking it slow. I've been focusing on me and getting me to a great place so I can be a better friend, because there was a point in time I wasn't being a good friend. You know, I was being mean to people I cared about. I was, pushing people away. I got to a point that I just told everybody, "Hey, I'm gonna disappear for a little while." Um, and I don't want to be there anymore. I want to be a good friend. I want to be around. I want to spend time with the people I love. And just live life on my
Absolutely.
terms.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard thing to do. Not a lot of people are able to do it. I've lost a couple of family members due to alcoholism, and it's a terrible thing. A lot of people don't think it can get you, but it's something that's in everybody's family, and it just takes a very strong person to recognize you got a problem and you want to be able to fix it. So good for you.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
for sure.
Yeah, Sapphire has been putting up with a lot of my bullshit lately, so thanks to her mostly.
I give you a lot of shit, so I wouldn't say putting up with it.
We talk so much shit to each other, and that's why I'm glad she's here because there's going to be a lot of crap talking. Like, you know, she's awesome. And just so y'all know, Sapphire is not her stripper name.
Oh my
It's her
gosh.
gamer tag. So just had to put that one out there. Just make sure, because some people, you know, Cowboy is my
Lord.
stripper name. That's where it came from. But hey.
Love
So
that.
we don't really have a lot of housekeeping to talk about today. Pretty much, Ranger stepping down was pretty much it. Andromeda has said that she is planning on coming back, so we do hope for that. We miss her, we love her. She was the brains behind this entire operation. We want her back. So I can fire Sniper or Sapphire Sniper, whatever her name is.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just playing. I would never, or would I?
I was about to say, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh well, not gonna answer that. So today we're talking about Disney Dreamlight Valley, and I got into this game because of Miss Squirrel over here talking about it. We were we were hanging out in the Discord and she was talking about how the new update was coming out, and that's what she was going to be doing for the next couple days. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go ahead and check this out. And me and Sapphire had been playing Power World a lot, so we were like looking for something else to play. And we hopped on to Disney Dreamlight Valley and we got hooked. We started playing like every night for like a week straight.
Yeah.
For like
How it is.
8 hours a day.
Dude, my sleep schedule is so messed up because of that.
Oh yeah.
We would
Once you start,
stay
you
up
can't
till like
stop.
5, 6 in the morning playing the game, and it was crazy. And it is a really addicting game, and everything about the game. I do enjoy most of this game. So we'll get to that and go over, the different aspects of the games that we like, don't like, stuff like that we have planned out for today. So, without further ado, Miss Sapphire, would you mind telling our favorite listeners and even the ones we don't like something about yourself? Anything about yourself, everything about yourself.
Oh man. I really don't even know where to start. I've been gaming for a long time. Originally started on a Nintendo 64. I've been married for almost 5 years, been with my husband for almost 6. We are going to be moving to Wyoming this year. That's going to be interesting. All the way from Oregon, so that's going to be a fun trip again, even though we just made that trip this last week.
I know we haven't gamed together in almost actually over a week now because of this trip.
Dude, it had to be done though. I mean, we could have flown, but it definitely was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, this trip that she went on. So we had planned to do an episode last Saturday, and we didn't end up doing it because the trip just kind of took over and got in the way of everything. Not really in the way. I mean, it was already planned out and everything, but it kind of just she was worn out. They drove from Oregon to Wyoming, um, and
The
it was a
eastern side
lot.
of
Like,
Wyoming, yeah.
yeah, so much happened during this trip. It was hilarious for me, but I'm sure it was not as fun for her.
19 hours there and back, dude. It's that's why we spent like 3 days in Idaho just chilling in a hotel.
That's what I would do. I mean, if I'm making that long trip, I'm gonna just. It's gonna take me a lot longer to get somewhere than it should because I'm gonna explore.
Oh yeah.
When I made my trip to Ohio when I went to college there, I stopped in every state. I think I spent a day in each state that I went through. Um,
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in Louisiana. I spent a lot of time in Tennessee. I went exploring around and enjoying things. Um, I didn't spend a lot of time in Ohio other than actually going to Cleveland where I was going because honestly, everyone I ran into in Ohio was just absolutely rude. There is honestly no Southern hospitality that exists up there. Um, like we're used to that, being in country places or southern states. Well, not you, but me. Because I'm from Texas. We have Southern hospitality. We say yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and if you didn't, you got slapped. But up there, like I asked a guy because I got lost, and I asked the guy for directions to the highway. Um, and his exact response to me was, "The fuck do I look like, a map?" I'm like, "All right,
My
okay,
bad.
my bad." Uh, and that was like the generic response I got up there, like to anything. Like I
Jeez.
did not enjoy my time there.
Weston and I drove from Colorado to Florida and then made that trip a month and a half later or 2 months later after both hurricanes wiped out our apartments. So it was great.
Oh,
We
nice.
stopped
That
though
was
in
fantastic.
Nashville. Yeah, we stopped in Nashville for a couple of nights because I love Nashville. I've never been, but I've always wanted to go. So it was a lot of fun seeing there. Don't ask for them to sing any song with Morgan Wallen because they will scream at you. I learned that the hard way.
Well, yeah, because
So
Morgan Wallen sucks ass.
I love his music. He's got a good voice.
Yeah, okay. His
I
live
like
show.
him.
So my ex-girlfriend went to see Morgan Wallen live, and she recorded a bunch of it on Snapchat, and I was watching it back, and he sucks live. Absolutely terrible.
Well, I will say this is that he's popped out saying that he had a problem. However, you don't know how much of that problem is. I know he had a problem with drinking, but there could have been more things to it.
Yeah.
But if you kind of take a look at some a concert folk, what is the word I'm looking for? Artists, thank you. I
Yeah.
thanked myself. Anyway, artists that go out there who drink on there. So like for example, Luke Bryan, you can hear how he sounds so good at the beginning, but as soon as he starts drinking and stuff, it gets bad.
Mhm.
And Morgan Wallen hasn't been on tour since because he's been trying to get his situation under control. But I have a feeling the next time he comes back out, if he's able to get it under control, able to say that yes, I do have a problem. Yes, I did fix it. He'll sound better. But yeah, I haven't been able to. When he started doing concerts, I wanted to go see him, but ever since he canceled like 2 shows in a row, I just was like, no thanks. I don't want to waste my money on that.
I think the chair incident was I think it was the chair incident that was kind of like the last straw of, hey, we're gonna figure something out before we put you back out there.
Yeah, him throwing the chair off Luke Bryan's bar.
Oh, jeez.
And I understand, like if it is alcoholism really does destroy your life. Even when I was a singer, when I performed opera, when I sung at bars, I was a heavy alcoholic even then at that time, and I couldn't sing or perform. I told myself mentally, I have to drink in order to go out on this stage. And so I do understand that. And if that is the case, I wish him the best. I still don't like him. I still think he sucks, but I do wish him the best. And, I hope everything works out
Yeah.
because, a lot of people do like him and look up to him. And the mullet wasn't too bad before he cut it off.
The mullet.
Some people can rock a mullet, Billy Ray Cyrus, fantastic mullet.
Yeah.
But I forgot where we were even at. Like, I don't even know what we were talking about. We were talking about Sapphire and her interesting life of awesomeness.
Yeah, if that's what you call it.
That's what we're going to call it today.
Apparently.
So, Sapphire, what made you join Dizzy Gaming server? Like, you just joined one day. I didn't even know who you were, honestly. I know we were in a lot of Discords together, but we never really talked. And you just kind of joined one day, and I would see you talk every now and then, and we would talk every now and then. But what got you to join?
I mean, I was originally on, Space Mafia, and then I was part of your D&D one, and then you just, I don't know, announced that one, and I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes, and just join. It wasn't anything in particular.
Well, I appreciate it, because it did come. It's so great how friendships can come from something random. I did the D&D seminar thing, and I guess I'm pretty sure that's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
And I've never done part 2 to that. I keep forgetting that I'm supposed to be doing a part 2 to that, and never did it. But me and Miss Squirrel over here met the same way. I was watching I think it was a Fortnite tournament for FUD, and everything ended, and I started following her because we were all talking in FUD's stream, and I just started following her, and I jumped into her stream one day, and we just started talking, and that's how I became friends with her. And it was just it's just the weird circumstances that bring people together, especially streamers. Like, we can just hop in to someone's stream one day, and somehow things just align perfectly, and we end up being friends and talking, more often, and day after day, hanging out with each other, streaming together, playing games together. It's just great to see how these communities that we're all a part of just kind of mesh together, and we build up off of each other. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the streaming community is so great. You can find a lot of great people. Sometimes they can go south, which has been something that I've been preaching a lot recently with is if you're becoming a streamer, this is what I tell a lot of people, is make sure you're doing it in a right way, not doing it for money, not doing it to just have a place for people to worship you. I've seen a lot of that. A lot of my friends recently, some people I actually had to unfollow because they were very, very disrespectful to somebody in my community, because they didn't want them to bring their mood down, even though they preach mental positivity and how they're like, I'm always here if you guys want to talk. It's something that's kind of sad, but you also have to kind of take a look at it. I've, again, a couple of friends that just did stuff, and some people that are like, I just understand why I don't have a lot of folks that are hopping into stream. I'm like, well, you talk about money all the time. You talk about how you want people to gift you subs. Like, there's different ways to say it, being like, like, okay, 5 gifted and I'll do this, That's a good way to go about it. But I have some friends that are just like, well, I just don't know why you guys aren't subbed to me, and it's like, okay. But it's interesting seeing like how I've met a lot of these people through different communities, and I've had to unfollow some of them because I'm like, I don't like the way that you're treating people,
Oh, I completely agree. I was following some people and it kind of went the same way. I was hanging out and one guy started complaining about his chats. Like not being as active. I mean, and it was kind of a slow game. He wasn't being as active and talking to the chat. So the chat was kind of quiet, and it was kind of that expectation that you expect your chat to build you up. They come there for you, not, you to build off of them.
Yeah. Even at 0 viewers, you gotta be talking like there's 10 in there.
Oh, exactly. And that's why when I stream, I don't even look at who's there. Like, I'll look at my chat and see if people are talking, but I go in and I assume, hey, all my friends are watching right now, or some random, guy from New Jersey's watching right now. Let me have a good time, and let me enjoy. I'm enjoying the game, so why can't I share that?
Right. Yeah, I've been struggling with that, and especially being a streamer, you get into those little doubts time situations. It's streamer depression is what I call it for me, is because it's like, I'm not good enough. I am not as funny as I used to be anymore. I was like, I don't know, there was just a lot of things about it, and it was just like, I don't have that energy. But it's just like, it's all the fact of that you've got to take care of yourself throughout it, or you get into those ruts and you kind of turn into that quote unquote evil side, is the lack of a better term. But it's like just seeing some of my friends who went from just such positivity, to that negative side where it's just like they're after the money. They're just like, no, you can't talk to me about your medical issues because I have so much going on right now. Or it's like, and what I mean by that is we just had somebody who got really upset with a friend of ours because they were there since the beginning with an issue that was happening, and they were just updating them on it. And they went, please don't talk to me about that again. I have too much going on in my life. I haven't even read what you said. And it was just kind of like, you preach all this stuff, and you can't say that. You can't preach it and say, I'm here to talk to you guys. If you have anything going on, mental health, physical health, I'm here to talk to you. And then just turn somebody down like that. It's so bad. And I was very angry at this person and was about to message until the member of my community said, please don't. Because to me, it's like, as a streamer, if you're preaching that stuff, preaching the mental positivity, but then you get mad when somebody tries to say something about it, like, you've got your own issues and you need to take a break. There's times where you see people that you're like, you need to take a break from streaming, because every streamer should take a break every month, like a couple of days off or something like that. Do your own thing, because it gets to you mentally and you don't realize it until it's too late. So.
Oh, and it really does. And I haven't streamed I haven't really streamed anything in a while. I did the D&D campaign for Blueberry Lounge. And even then, I didn't feel myself. So I was like, hey, I would rather take the time and keep working on me than come on here and bring everyone else down with me. I don't want to go out and stream and not be able to put my all in it, get frustrated, and just have a bad time. I want to enjoy my time.
Oh yeah.
I want everyone else to enjoy being around me. And so I've had a couple people asking me, hey, when are you gonna get back to it? Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've said a couple times, I'll be back next week, or hey, I'm going to stream on Monday, and then I just don't do it. And I message everybody. I'm like, hey, I was going to do it, and then anxiety kind of took over, and I just don't think I'm there yet. And
Yeah.
I do plan to come back. I do plan to stream. Actually, supposed to stream this second part of the Blueberry Lounge D&D campaign this month. And I'm thinking about getting back into it. It's just I'll know when I'm ready, and that's when I'll come back.
Yeah,
And I
because you
don't
get that
want to come back
excitement
too
again.
soon. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
And it's okay to take like a month off when you have something like go on in your life, Like I had when my grandma passed away, I had to message my community. If your community doesn't understand the reason why you're gone, that's not a good community you built out. But like with the Squid Squad community, I've told them, I said, hey guys, I just lost somebody very important to me. I need to take a break. And we took a month break. And came back, and then everybody was there being super supportive, and it's like if you've got those things going on in your life, you come first before streaming is a business, yes, but sometimes even businesses need a break,
mhm.
But yeah, and it's like if you're not ready, if you don't feel that excitement, don't join back in, don't get ready, just deep breath, restart, and if you're like, I really want to get back into it, but I don't have the motivation, start looking up things online, how to improve your stream, because that's what I normally do. And it really helps me feel a lot better and helps me improve stream always, because I'm like, okay, reset, restart, let's figure this out.
Yeah, I told Sapphire she didn't have a choice. She was going to have to start streaming with me. So be on the lookout. She will be there.
Yeah, I haven't
I'm
streamed
not even
for
going to tell
like
her when it's happening.
way over a year. It's been a long time. College was just too much.
Yeah, one day she's just going to get a notification. Hey, Cowboy streaming. Wait, we're playing a game. Oh, hey, chat. Oops. It's just going to happen. Just throw you into it. Um,
Uh,
But that's kind of one of the things I've been wanting to do lately. When I do come back, I really enjoy playing Phasmophobia lately. And I want to kind of get a group together to do a Phasmophobia stream, because I do enjoy the game, but I don't like playing it with just like one or two people. I like
Yeah.
to have a full 4 stack going into that game, because it can be hilarious dealing with everybody, doing that. Like the way it was with us in Backrooms or any of the horror games. It's just so much fun. I just watched you and Chels and Rin playing that new
Repo.
game, Repo, and that shit was
yeah.
hilarious.
It's so much fun, dude. It's definitely one of my favorite kind of scary co-op games, because you have scary co-op games like Phasmophobia. You've got not Split Fiction. That's not a scary game. Morgan, restart. Let me see if I can find it. Spooky co-op.
Backrooms.
Yeah, you got Backrooms. There's like these Ghost Hunters, Lethal Company. There's Zort, Sketchy's Contract. There's so many different ones, but they're not as
Yeah.
scary as Repo is. Repo definitely gets those jump scares going, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, Sapphire
There's quite
told
a
me
few
she
of them.
wanted to play Repo, and I looked at it, I'm like, this kind of looks stupid. And now I've watched y'all play it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we can play this.
Oh yeah. And it's something that it's like, if these things scare you, don't play it, because you need to be doing things to help the team out. And if it's just you left, we're screwed. Like, Chelsea was getting scared, and I was like, girl, and she wouldn't move. And I was like, girl, you gotta move. And it was so funny because of what she was saying the entire time. So we weren't really paying attention to it. It was so funny. Shout out to Chelsea, Cheeky Mink. She's awesome. I love playing games with her. It was just cracking us up because we were all in the death area, we were just watching her. We're all going, Chelsea, move, do something. We have to win. It's so fun.
I love playing with Chelsea. Her bubbly personality just makes everything, just the ADHD kicks in, and she's just such a joy to be around.
She's such a smoochie bear, and that's a term I've been using a lot recently. Everybody keeps calling it's like it's a love thing to each other. It's like it's just I don't know, but she's She's a love. I love gaming with her. And it's so fun so the reason why I chose the crowd that I did for Repo, where it was Weston, Ryan, my brother, myself, and Chelsea, my best friend Kim, and Aaron, is because all of us have ADHD. And we all got distracted so many times in it. It just made the game 10,000 times better.
Yeah, I loved your recent video, the Karma one. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I ran
Chelsea
into
was carrying
Chelsea.
something. You ran into her and then turned around and the monster's right behind you. Oh my
We were
God.
laughing so hard at that. Oh my God, my headset just died. This is so fun. Remember to charge your headset always.
I never do. Mine has died through so
No.
many
I'm almost
episodes.
back. I'm back. Sorry. I thought I had it plugged in, but
I always kill my headset during episodes. It's so much. See, and this is why I should not be on a podcast by myself. That's why Sapphire is here, because tangent.
oh yeah.
I can talk for hours.
Yeah,
And
you've got another person here who will talk
we
with
all
you for
have
hours.
ADHD.
Yeah, and I will forget that. Honestly, for a second, I forgot we were on the podcast until you said something, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, that's right." I just get so immersed with conversation with people. If you guys want to talk about something that, like, I really know a lot about, be ready because I will talk your ear off for hours.
Oh yeah, and we've done it. I mean, it's just it's wild. You know how. I mean, what it's been 5 months, I think, that I've known you now. I think we met in November, and you know, going from that, just we can sit here and just talk about anything and just go through it on this show and just get so far off a tangent that we forget what the hell we're doing or even talking about. And that's ADHD at its finest. I mean, ADHD people, we can make friends with other ADHD people so easily.
Oh yeah.
Because we don't even remember what we're doing. It's so insane. I love it. And that's why I love this community of people that I've met through, streaming and podcasting, because, a lot of the people that like the Space Mafia, we met them through this podcast, and that's how Sniper or Sapphire found me. And same with you. I met Fudd through this podcast, and then I met him through you, and I met Hurdle. And Hurdle, we all know he's a good friend of mine. We talk often, and I love the man to death. He's been a very good friend to me and supportive. We've talked on the phone many times when I've been in, a rut and with everything going on. And, he's an amazing guy. Met Chelsea the same way. A shout out to her, Cheeky Minx 3 on Twitch. If you're not following her, follow her. She's amazing. Her energy is just absolutely insane. It's a great watch. She is a great person. Same with Miss Morgan over here. Just absolutely great. You do got to watch her. Show her some love, because one of the absolutely my favorite streamer. I always watch when she's on, even if I'm driving or doing something else. I'm always there because I love this person. She's awesome as hell. But we're gonna go take that turn real quick and get back to what we're actually doing today. So, Miss Squirrel,
yeah,
tell everybody who you are, for those who might not know you or have heard your last episode.
Yeah, well, my name is Morgan, or Squirrel, or just Glad, whatever you want to call me. I answer to basically anything. I've been streaming for about 5 years now, going to be 6 in December, which has been a long journey, but a very fun one. It's been awesome to be able to hang out with everybody and just kind of be here. So, yeah, I've been gaming since Oh gosh, I don't know. I've been gaming for a very long time. Probably when, probably I don't know. It was like when a Nintendo came out, and I can't remember it, but it was when Animal Crossing basically came out. That's when I started. Animal Crossing got me into gaming, and then it just kind of blossomed into this beautiful thing here. Well, more of an addiction, but we're here. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, now we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty questions. So, let me ask you this,
Mhm.
because we've all done it. Everyone has done it. If you say you've never done it, I'm gonna tell you you're lying. Uh, what is the most important thing you've canceled to play games, or canceled on to play games?
That's a great question. I've done that a lot. Um, I don't know what an important thing was. I guess it's not as important, but my friends already know that like I'm just gonna stay home and game. It probably have to be either hanging out like when our friends want to go out or something, and I don't have enough money. I just say, hey guys, I'm gonna stay inside. So far, that's the only thing that I've done. Might have been a birthday too. I don't know. No,
Yeah.
I never really miss it. I never really miss birthdays. I like hanging out with my friends for that, but definitely like going out and hanging out with friends. 9 times out of 10, I'm like, I'm gonna just call it an indoors time because if you ask me at like 12 o'clock to do something, I've already planned the rest of my night. You know, and that's what I'm doing. I also am very much the type of person that please ask me the day before, not the day of, to do something like something big, unless it's like, hey, we haven't seen each other in forever. Sure, let's do it, you know?
Like, hey, I'm in town. It was a spur of the moment thing.
Yep.
I can get that. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I cancel a lot of shit. Like, I have a running excuse, especially now that I have a daughter. And shout out to my daughter. Everyone knows I love my daughter to death. She's been the most important thing in my life, my world. She will be 3 tomorrow at the time of this
Aw,
recording. 3 years old. Oh my god.
love that.
But
Congrats.
I love you, baby. If you ever hear this one day, daddy loves you so much. So, Miss Morgan,
Mhm.
what is the worst game you've ever played?
Oh my gosh. Actually, I just played it recently, and I feel bad because I think it's actually somebody who made this on their own, but it has to be uh Spooky Mansion? Oh, Shadow Mansion is what it's called. I hate to say it's the worst game. If anything, Fossil Fuel 2, terrible. But Shadow Mansion is just it's good. There's a lot of glitches. It is new, but the way this person speaks in the game, yikes. Like it feels like he just doesn't have a lot of enthusiasm with it, you know? He goes, "Oh, I should probably answer this. I should probably get inside." And I'm like, "Is this an AI guy?" You know, and I think you, Cowboy, were in that stream, and I said, is this AI?" And I think you went, "I think it is." And I couldn't tell, but I'm almost positive it is that person who's doing it. I think it's just an individual. No,
Yeah,
it's by Nebula Nova Games. I sat there and I went, I'm sorry, guys, this was not worth the $2. I'm done. You know, I'm not playing
AI
this.
is AI is getting so popular. I mean, there's people that are using AI to make whole games now,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's insane to think about. But AI voice stuff, I've never been a fan of because even when you work out all the kinks to make it sound like an actual person and not robotic, it still comes off as robotic because nothing in a computer can ever get that emotion that's needed.
Oh, yeah.
And especially with games and movies and stuff like that, I mean, you can have such a good story and you have a terrible voice actor, that game goes to shit.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, for
dude.
sure.
It's definitely, well, I will say this though. Have you guys played any Discord games?
No.
Okay, so there's this one game, and I think maybe Cowboy, you did play this with us, but there was this one game that's called, oh, shoot, what
The AI,
Death by AI.
Death by AI, yeah.
That is
Yeah,
so funny to me because
it is.
it's just the way that it speaks the entire time. It's hilarious. And trying to be able to find a way to like not die in it. It's awesome. I love it. That's one of my favorites. It has to be.
I love the way it says Sadaka for Sid.
Sadaka, and it's so funny that they said Sadaka for Sid. Also, shout out to Sid. I love her to death. Because not more often than not now, because her name is Sid, aka Boss Babe, for her stream or for her Twitch. And when she goes and follows new people, 9 times out of 10 they call her Sadaka.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, are these people AI too? It's crazy to me.
It was hilarious. I remember we all had a great laugh at that. It was such a good time. I can't wait to do stuff like that again. I mean, it's so much fun. Some of the ways that AI killed us off.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Just great.
It's hilarious.
All right. Fourth question, and this one's one of my favorites. If you could make your own game, what would it be like?
Ooh. That's a great question. I don't know what I think. Huh. I don't know. It might be something mixed with like a scary situation because I love my scary games. Those are fun. But that is a really good question. I don't know. Do you have one in mind? I'm curious to hear about you. What yours is.
Ooh. So if I could make a game, I would say I would want to make a survival game because I'm into survival games right now, like crazy. But I would want to make a survival game that brings in the aspects of like you start out in let me think of how to word this. Like we all know the caveman approach to survival games, you start out with the basic stuff, but more like a survival, you start out with the basic, you've got to make a regular stone axe, stuff like that.
Mhm.
But you can actually see like the advancements through society. Like you build cities and towns, and your character actually lives through, like, say your character, if you don't get killed off, can live through an infinite amount of time, and you can actually advance and watch society advance. So you would start out, there would be like dinosaurs around, kind of like Ark, but you play through to a certain point, asteroid comes, wipes all the dinosaurs out. But basically playing through the advancements of civilization from the beginning to where we are now and even into the future. As you advance, you get to like the flying cars, stuff like that, spacey skyscrapers, space travel, something kind of like that. It'd be a game that each year, for however long I could keep this game going, we would introduce an event that advanced society wherever you're at in the game. It don't matter if you're day one, you just started playing and you're still in the caveman time. That event would happen like Fortnite events. And at that moment, asteroid hit while you're playing, just a cutscene, and you're into the next part of civilization.
Dang.
Yeah. And then
That's a
each
cool one.
year would have that event and civilization would advance and you'd get to play different parts of the world, like Western times. You'd be able to play in the Western times for a year. And then, more modern ages, different stuff like that. And just,
Yeah.
that would be a way to advance the game, like keep it going for a good, 10, 20 years even. And
Absolutely.
you could even advance the graphics along with it, which would be pretty awesome. It'd be like putting out a new game each year, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I love that idea. Definitely now that I think about it, since you just brought that up, is I don't know if you guys have heard of the game called Jurassic Park Survival that they released back in. They said that they were going to be releasing next year, meaning they talked about it in 2023. It was supposed to be out in 2024. Now we're here in 2025. I would like to make a game like that. One, because I love Jurassic Park. Two, if I could just make this game and make it go public, I would, but they're taking way too goddamn long with it. But yeah, I think it would be something along those lines.
I would love a Jurassic Park survival game.
Have you seen it? Like the stuff that they posted about? Look it up on Steam and you'll see the video that they made. And they keep saying it's to be determined, to be determined. I'm like, just say now that this game isn't going to come out anymore. That's it. Just say it. You know?
They must be running into a lot of problems if they keep doing that.
Well, they keep saying that what they're doing is they're like, yeah, what we're doing is we're just trying to make sure that it's a good game to work with and everything, and it looks good. And they keep saying that, and they said that last year in June. That they're still working on fixes, they're still working on it. And we're like, okay, this game can't be that crazy. Like if you take a look at the video and how they made it, you know, I don't know. To me, it's like 2 years to work on a game. If you guys are about to launch the game, that's when you should talk about it. You know?
Right.
If like, let's say they just posted about it now and they just did it during the game shows and they're like, it's coming out next year, you know, that's what it should be. Or it's coming out in a couple of months. Like you guys are about to be finished with it and go from there. Like I get it, but this game better be damn well good when it comes out. Because if it's not, I'm fighting. I'm gonna give him a knuckle sandwich. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, I can understand that though to a certain point because it's the same thing that the Final Fantasy VII remake did. You know, they talked about the game. They're like, "Hey, it's coming out this time," and they worked on that game for, I think, like 8 years. Of just putting from when they announced it, it was like 8 years before the game was even supposed to be released, or 7 years before it was supposed to be released. And you know, they came out and they're like, "Hey, we have the game, but it's not exactly how we want it."
Yeah.
And they're like, "So we're going to take a little bit more time." And they did, and it ended up taking like another 2 years from when it was originally supposed to be released. But when that game came out, I mean, it was sheer perfection. I mean, it was beautiful. And I appreciate that. I'm willing to wait for the perfect game, but if you make me wait and it comes out and it's buggy as hell and looks like trash, I'm coming to your house and I'm fighting you in the driveway.
Yeah. Dude, that's literally it. That's what I've been saying. Because me and Gator, also shout out to Gator. We love Gator. We love all of our friends. But he and I were talking about it. He was like, don't even expect this game to come out. But I'm like, I really want it to. And he goes, well, if it does, and it's not as a good quality as the trailer that they have for it, then they have some explaining to do, you know?
Yeah.
But like, why go to a game show or the gaming shows, you know, every year at the end of the year or beginning of the year, I can't remember which, they talk about all the new games coming out and they talk about like who won and everything. It's like, why would you post about it and then not talk about when it's coming out, you know, and have a TBD? I feel like that should be a requirement that you have to have a date determined.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can agree with that. You know, don't even. It's kind of like saying, "Hey, we got this next Avengers movie. Here's the trailer," and then they're like, "But we don't know when we're actually going to put the movie out," and you're like, "Well, fuck you too, then."
Yeah. That's just my issue I have with it. Also, the movie for the new Jurassic Park movie, I really hope they never stop making it. Everybody says it needs to stop, and I'm like, no, it's Jurassic Park movies are so good though. I love dinosaurs. I feel like in my past life I was a paleontologist, in all honesty. But if I could be a paleontologist, I would. But yeah, I absolutely love all Jurassic Parks. But yeah, it'll be coming out, they said, in July 2nd, I believe.
Oh, nice. I just watched Dominion 2 days ago. It wasn't bad. I mean, I didn't like the Jurassic Park which one was before Dominion? Um
Uh,
Jurassic World or whatever it was. No. I don't remember. It was the one where they
Jurassic Park
entered.
or Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of that one. But Dominion was really good. I did enjoy that. So I am looking forward to. I love the Jurassic Park movies too.
Same, dude.
And I did like Jurassic World, especially Dominion. The way they brought everything full circle, and brought back a lot of the original people from the first Jurassic Park movie is just chef's kiss. I mean, it was perfect.
Oh
So,
yeah, dude, absolutely.
um, now last question, and then
Mhm.
we'll take a intermission. If you could have a superpower, but it had to be kind of useless, what would it be?
Dang, you guys have good questions. It has to be kind of useless.
It has to be useless or kind of useless.
Um. hmm. Dang it. I would say maybe going like. Oh, I have a good one. Perfect. This is like gaming related in a sense. Perfect aim, but only for throwing trash away.
uh, for your cleanup game, your
Yeah.
crime scene.
Yep.
Awesome, love it, absolutely. What about you, Sapphire? What would your kind of useless superpower be?
Oh, jeez. Um, damn. I don't know. Honestly, all I can think about is like being able to like identify plants at a glance, but I guess that's not really that useless.
I mean,
Mine, and I
I
thought
feel like that is kind of a useless power too, because if you do see a plant at a glance, you just go, "That's a flower," and it's like, yes, indeed, it is a flower.
it is a flower. Thank you.
Well,
So
yeah, I guess if it
mine
comes to botany terms.
Mine would be to always know how to spell a word. It would be cool because I would never be wrong at how to spell a word, but it would also be useless because it doesn't teach me anything else. Like I can write and spell my words right, doesn't mean I know how to write. Um, but I've always been fascinated with spelling. Like I used to do spelling bees and stuff like that. So the caveat to this that I thought about as well was I would always know how to spell a word unless I had to for a competition.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So I'd, I argue with my sister a lot about how words are spelled, and it's hilarious because she's always wrong. I love you, sister. I love you, but you got some explaining to do because your kids spell better than you sometimes.
Love that. Big ol' stretch.
All right, so we are
Oh,
going to take a brief intermission, fill up our water bottles and use our restrooms and
perfect timing because
listen
I'm
to
getting a
some
migraine.
beautiful intermission music. See, look, they're so mean to me. She just told me I'm giving her a migraine. How? Oh
No,
my god.
I don't know why I'm getting one right now. Oh, it's because I haven't been wearing. I had to get blue light glasses. I get really bad migraines really bad recently just because of stress from family stuff.
Hmm.
And also I need to get blue light glasses because it was causing that a lot because I'm on my computer a majority of the day.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't wear it yesterday and I didn't wear them today. So I think that's what caused it. So I'm trying to drink Sprite really fastly. Normally it's Coke, but I don't have any Coke.
So, on a similar note, I had the same problem when I started working from home. Um, and, I kept getting headaches and migraines sitting at the computer. And so I talked to a doctor about it and actually found out that that is a type of vertigo that you get from looking at a computer. Um, and it's actually a common issue that people have, especially people like us that work from home or streamers and stuff like that. So blue light glasses do help, but it's also kind of just a thing that happens, and it's
Right.
annoying. I hate it. Like, I
Yeah.
have all the warm settings on, the blue light filters on my screens, the night light thing on. Like, I have light shining at my screens a lot of the time so that it's not directly at me. I have to do so much so that these screens do not cause me pain.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's funny when my migraines start happening because I like gaslight myself into thinking that I'm fine and it's not it and I'm just overthinking it. And then it hits, I'm like, damn it.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and right now I can't read things at the moment and I can see it. So Weston's gonna go grab some medication for me real fast. But
Alrighty,
hoping
guys.
the stripe helps.
We'll be back in just a few minutes. Cue music. And we are back. For us, it was a good 10-minute break. For y'all listening at home, is about 10 seconds. And we're finally going to get into the actual topic that we came here to talk about today, Disney Dreamlight Valley. This game is so much fun, dude. I'm obsessed with this game. I love this game. I bought both of the expansion packs. I even bought the more expensive version of the expansion pack for the Storybrooke one because I had to have Pegasus as my little companion. He's freaking cute, man. It's adorable. And this game is addicting. It reminds me of like Stardew Valley a lot. It's kind of the same theme and same premise, but with Disney characters, and it's so much fun. But let's get into how we would all describe this game. Miss Squirrel,
Yeah.
how would you describe the game?
Very addicting. This game is a place where you're able to kind of build and show your own Disney island and kind of what you want with it. And it kind of brings your own imagination to life. Being able to hang out with the characters that you grew up with, to know and love. For myself, Beauty and the Beast. I love Beauty and the Beast. It is one of my favorite Disney movies. And I'm currently living next to Beauty and the Beast right now because they're my neighbors and I love them. But yeah, it's just a fun game and you get lost in it and they have all these amazing quests too.
All right, Miss Sapphire, how would you describe it?
Oh, geez. I would have to agree that it's addicting. To me, it feels like it's like Stardew and Animal Crossing kind of mixed together, where you get to have. I mean, you don't get to really pick your villagers in a sense, but you get to have friendships with them, and I really do wish there were certain characters they don't have. Like me and you've talked about how I really want Atlantis to be a part of the character
Ooh.
list. Because I feel like there's so many symbols from Atlantis that it's like, why aren't you guys putting them in already? It's
I
really
agree.
grindy though. A lot of grinding for sure.
I agree wholeheartedly. For me, this game is super grindy, especially when you're trying to get Dreamlight, which is something you need to do a lot of your story stuff or unlocking new areas. I mean, it can take a long time, even when you're strictly just grinding out Dreamlight quests. Um, I think I was doing the 10,000 Dreamlight area, and it took me like 7 hours of just working on that to actually get enough to unlock that area. But if you don't, if that's not your focus, trying to unlock areas, if you once you have everything unlocked and you're not sitting there Dreamlight grinding, the game has so much to offer. I mean, like each friend has so much to give, like so many quests, so many storylines. There's really so much to do in this game, and it's really well done. I have to say, it's really well done. I mean, the graphics, what people would say graphics nowadays, though it's not like the most realistic, beautiful graphics that you've ever seen, the graphics that they give us are absolutely perfect of what you would expect a Disney game to look like. Like
Oh yeah.
it hits. It's perfect. And when you go to different areas or you go around different characters, the way they react to things and some of the cheesy lines they say are perfect. Like I really think this game is so well done.
Besides the
Yeah.
bugs we've ran into.
It,
Oh
it
my
is
god, yeah.
buggy. It is buggy.
I this game I love this game. Also pardon me if I'm kind of mixing my words. I cannot see in my right eye right now. So trying to read the stuff that I wrote down is very difficult. Yay migraines. But I do love this game. There are, as you guys just said, there are a lot of glitches and bugs. It does look really good. The graphics are awesome. I would appreciate if they spent a little bit more time on some of the characters' faces. Belle looks good, but I feel like they kind of did her dirty in certain areas of her face. It looks really smushed. And then Aladdin looks like he does not have any lips. Like it does not look like it is there at all. And Rapunzel doesn't really, it looks like a Wish version of Rapunzel, in my opinion. But it's a good game. It is a lot of grinding. Like right now I'm grinding the 4-leaf clovers situation. I really wish that they would put more out about like, so you have to get these 3-leaf clovers and such. I really, really wish that they put more out throughout it. They said 10 should appear every 5 minutes. That's not true. I get like 4 or 5 each 5 minutes, and that's it. Or every 10 minutes, however many minutes they said it would be. So it is a lot of grinding. It's a lot of fun with everything going on. There was one thing I wanted to talk about with it that's been really frustrating. It'll come back to me though, but yeah, the Dreamlight stuff, I really wish that they had a better way of collecting it. Dreamlight got better with it, but like for example, I can't remember the rest of the names of them, but the ones that Eternity Isle use that are like the Mist, I think is what it's called, and then whatever Storybrooke uses. I can't remember what those ones are called either, but they are very difficult to find and hard to get by. If you want 10,000, be ready to be doing that for the next like 5 to 10 hours because it's going to take a hot minute to do it, you know? And then, have you guys seen with the characters? You guys know how they all have different like clothing options that you can choose for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I would really appreciate is, so I've been playing this game since day one. The one thing when they brought out Daisy, they added that they said that she has this, I think it's a pirate costume that she has. Me and my friend Sid have never seen it anywhere. Like when she first came out, there wasn't anything like Belle. You could get her winter outfit and you got that right away. You know, you could do that, all these different things, but it wasn't there, you know? So there was just a lot of things in there that, like, especially with that, I wish that they would just keep those up so that you can purchase them, like Dapper Wally, or you could get, what's her name? The tentacle lady. What's her name? Why am I blanking on
Ursula.
this? Ursula. You could get her outfit. I just wish they did that with everybody too. You know, like had it consistently staying there in the shop. That way you can choose which one you want to get.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So far, those are my only cons, but I'll let you guys speak because I will go on forever.
And we have planned out a pros and cons list for each of us because, like, this game does have a lot of pros and cons. But, you know, as far as I look at it, you know, for a game that's going to be putting out expansions, and they have put out some expansions. They just did the Aladdin one here recently.
Oh, that
And
was one of my favorite updates because there was a lot of stuff going on with that. Like instead of just easily getting them and doing a couple of side quests, it took you like about a good hour to get them out. But I liked it because it made you really think of what you needed to do. Anyway, continue.
oh yeah, and I mean, you see, like, especially when you walk into the castle, there are so many unused doors that the potential for this game, especially being Disney, what it is, you know, of having been around for over 100 years now, there's so many characters they can choose from, so much that they can work with, and the potential is there for them to take this game on for years.
Oh yeah.
And that's exciting. And you know, those bugs that we talk about and we're going to talk about more, you know, that's
Every
baby
game.
stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
that's every
every game
game,
has it.
especially nowadays with these new engines like Unreal Engine 4 and Unreal Engine 5. These games that are coming out, it's hard not to have bugs, especially as big as these games are, which
And the
surprised
graphics
me
as they
that
get better.
yeah, and it surprised me that this game was not as big as I would think it would be. Like,
Mhm.
it was, what, 10 gigabytes, 13 gigabytes? Like,
Oh yeah.
I was expecting this game to be like 70, 80, but there's so much stuff in it for being such a small, you know, file, which is awesome. But to the next question, how would you describe the main objective of this game?
Ooh. Like the main storyline?
Yeah,
Okay.
like not really the storyline, but what you need to do. Like, what's the point of the game? What are you trying to accomplish?
Yeah. So I think with it, and I don't want to give it away because I don't think you guys have you guys completed the game yet? Like what the
I'm at
situation
the
is?
end, but I haven't finished it.
Okay. So I won't give away too much, but basically we right now Disney Dreamlight Valley, you're in a dream. And I just lost my train of thought again. This is fun. When you're going into the game, you're not just like building and making your own valley for just yourself. You're bringing all these characters back into something that makes you happy as a person. It really talks about the hard days that we have in life, and how it's I can't really say this part. I'm trying to say it so that I'm not giving it away unless you guys want me to give it away of what it is. But it's just it made me tear up, honestly, because it was just so like, take a step back from reality and immerse yourself into something that's different, because sometimes we all need a break from reality, and gaming is one of those things, especially Disney. The main story quest going with it, it's so fun because each character has their own situation happening. It's not the same thing. They're different stuff. They bring in different parts of the movies that they've had in there. It's just, I feel like I'm not answering the question exactly because I'm trying not to say what it is. But it's the story, like, base of this game, the story that they created with it, honestly is a tearjerker in my opinion, because it hits so close to home for all of us Disney kids, like growing up
It
on
it
Disney, Disney XD,
it
Disney
does.
Channel, all that stuff. And it makes you like go, oh my God, like I need to stop taking life so seriously and take a second and go, I'm here now. I need to live now. Like I need to live in this moment now.
I agree. Sapphire, what would your take be on the objective of this game?
Oh, geez. See, I'm not as far as you in the game, so um, geez. I mean, the main objective I've noticed is you're running around basically helping characters, and then you unlock new areas and get access to certain characters, or you can open doors and then help them figure out what needs to be done to get them in the village with you. And
Bring their
I
memories
mean,
back.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm nowhere near as far as Cowboy is. I mean, I haven't even bought any of the expansions or anything like that, so it's just
Yeah.
it's one of those things. I don't have a whole lot on it.
I would say, as somebody who's finished the main storyline, if you're just now starting, for those of you who have started or are starting it, go through the main storyline first. You don't have to get the expansion packs yet, but go through the main storyline first and try to get that done, because it really explains why we are here and what we're doing. And it's beautiful. It makes
And
it a lot of fun.
I'm gonna pull off of what she said. I mean the objective of the game, you come in, like she said, you're starting out in a dream, and you basically have to rebuild this Disney kingdom, uh, valley that you're in. Um, and to do that and to open things up, you have to make friends with these Disney characters, bring their stories back to life, basically recreate memories. And it's to go into the story a little bit without giving too much. It is exactly that. If you look at the depth and complexity of the story, it is honestly, it is so relatable, growing up watching all these older Disney movies and thinking about, who we were then and how we looked at things then versus how we look at them now. And the game really brings that into light.
Yeah.
It brings up growing up and
And bringing yourself back to that younger self who is so excited about everything, and
exactly.
it brings
And
that excitement back. And when I say it's a tearjerker, be ready, because at the end of it, you're going to sit there and go, holy crap, this all makes sense.
yeah, and I'm at that part too where I mean the game is even so much that it puts out a warning before when you get to a certain quest in the game, it actually puts out a warning and lets you know, hey, this is going to be some emotional shit and
Yeah.
it's relatable. And I appreciate that so much,
Yeah, because you might be going through something and somebody isn't ready to be like that, and it will tear you down if you're not in a good headspace.
and it does, and it relates to both sides. It brings in a relation to us as kids and us now, and it shows, not only just bringing that back together, but the distance between the two. And you know I love it. I think this story is so good. It is so fantastic.
Yeah, they made it
um
very well. And then if you want to
I
go and continue with the story after you did that story, then you get the expansion packs, because then they go through and bring in more situations, but not more of like not going after, but like talking about us as for kids versus adults situation. It's more of like the villain side of it, the villain story, and it's really really cool how they bring it all in.
yeah, I I have so much love for the way this game was made. But that brings us into our next part, the pros and cons.
Yes.
And I'm gonna start this off by saying the game is fantastic. I would say anyone should play this game. It is great. It is a great game. But we'll start with the pros. Pros. Fantastic game. Fantastic graphics for what it is. There are some issues with the graphics, but in its big picture, it is great. For a somewhat type of survival simulator game, which that's really what it is, a simulator game. They did a really good job. I think the character stories, great. The main story, great. The friendship's great. Fishing, I appreciate the fishing mechanic in this game so much. I hated Stardew's fishing mechanic. And if you've ever seen me stream, you know that I started my streaming career by playing Throne and Liberty. And I absolutely hate the fishing mechanic of that game. It bothers me so much. And that was one of the things I was looking forward to so much in that game. But I appreciate this game's fishing mechanic. Even if Sapphire can't get it down, you know, I appreciate it. And just the way they brought around how you do everything. I think the game is just really well done. And it's refreshing, honestly. It is what we've needed. You know, y'all have heard me talk many times about how games have kind of just stagnated into just being repetitive. And it's kind of to the point where we're starting to lean away from, you know, these big name AAA companies and starting to lean more to indie games. 2024, 2025, maybe even on into 2026. This is the time for indie games. I mean, indie games are putting out the best stuff.
And they're very, very popular right now.
Yeah, indie games are on fire. And you know, it's great to see because we need refreshing games. I mean, I am to the point where I am so tired of shooter games. Like, I can't stand shooter games anymore. Like Call of Duty, Apex, I have a love-hate relationship with. Like, I'll play I'll play it, you know, with Squirrel or with Hurdle or, you know, with some friends that are into Apex. But if you tell me, hey, go play Apex and stream it, I'm gonna tell you, go to hell, because I'm not doing that to myself.
It's hard to play it nowadays, in my opinion. Yeah, so indie games that have all different storylines is definitely out there now.
Right, and indie games, I haven't seen any indie game that sits there and tries to gouge you. Like AAA games, you're looking at $90 for a new game, and you go to an indie game, a lot of these are like $5, $10, $20. Like Raft, right. Me and Sapphire just started playing Raft. I enjoy the hell out of that, you know, and those type of games is exactly what this game kind of personifies. Something new, something fresh, a fresh take on what we enjoy, like survival games and simulation games. It's a new, fresh take, and I enjoy it. So to the cons. The game is buggy. There are times, like even now, I mean, the game, like I said, it's been out a year and 3 months. There are times where me and Sapphire have been playing and you can't access your inventory. Like, you can open it, but you can't actually move in it. You can't do anything. Same with like the characters lists. You can't actually scroll through it. It might be different on PC because you're using a mouse to click things, but as far as console wise,
I use
not.
PC though.
Oh well, yeah, that's true. So
I haven't come across that issue.
Yeah, we've had to back out a couple times, and it's really annoying. It happens to us quite a bit.
Maybe it's just like Xbox version, because that's the version we use.
Yeah, because she's playing the Game Pass version. So it might just be the Xbox or the console version of the game that we have that issue with. So if you're a console player, that might happen to you. Another thing that happened to me, and it's happened to me quite a bit, and Sapphire can vouch for this, is like some of the Dreamlight quests. You can do what it's asking you to do, and it just won't register it.
Yeah.
That has been happening to me a lot, especially like feeding the turtles or feeding the squirrels. That happens to me a lot. And but again, it's a small thing, you know. That's something that can easily be worked out. Um, but a really big con, and this will be a con for a lot of people because we are millennials and younger. Most of us that are here and listen to this podcast. I'm a millennial. They're Gen Zs, but I age
Hey,
dropped y'all. I'm
I am
sorry.
at the edge. I am at the edge of a millennial, so don't even.
Same.
You're Zennials.
No,
Um,
bruh.
so, um, so you know, for us, we're not the most patient people in the world. So the grindy aspect of this game, it does get annoying. It really can. Um, you know, like we've illustrated here, like especially with the Dreamlight, it takes a long time. And one of the things I like and don't like about the game, so it's kind of a pro and a con, is the game doesn't use in-game time. It doesn't have its own time system. It uses real time. Um, so the day and night system is based on your time zone, what time you're on. Same with growing crops. It's based on real world hours, not in-game hours. And some of the
Yeah.
quests are the same way. You know, you can do this one quest, but you have to wait 24 hours to do the next one. Or one quest, you have to wait 3 days for that quest to be done. And that can get to some people. This game is not a game you can speed run. That's for damn sure. So that's my pros and cons. Squirrely.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely with the cons for me recently. Again, I've talked about it. It's just like the certain aspects of things with like faces and such. But one thing that really made me upset, and made Sid upset too, is when they were starting off with it and they were bringing in all the characters. They started with the old characters, which I thought that that's what they were doing. But then Encanto came out, I believe, and or Encanto, which I don't know how to say it, but came out, and then they brought what is her name? Whatever. Yeah, brought her in, and then after that, they were bringing in new characters that are like brand new, but like they brought in Belle, but they didn't bring in like Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty or Snow White or anything like that. That's one thing that I've been really frustrated about, you know, like right, we are going to be getting Sleeping Beauty here soon because of the new DLC pack for what's it called? Storybrooke. But it's just like it made me frustrated that we didn't get like the original Disney princesses right away, you know. There's a couple of other characters like Atlantis, with what you brought up, Sapphire, is like they have so many things about it, but it's not there, and that's one of the older Disney movies, you know, and I really wish that they brought that stuff out first, rather than all the new characters and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I think they dropped the ball on. I think they were doing it because they thought they would get more people, but their numbers really didn't change as much. I thought, in all honesty, the Encanto storyline was not good, in my opinion. It felt very rushed. So I don't know. Like now they're bringing in Alice in Wonderland, which I'm excited about because that's an old Disney character that I love singing, you know. That's coming soon. They did Jasmine and Aladdin, which I was like, okay, thankfully we've got another Disney princess coming in. You know, then they also brought in Vanellope, which she is the bane of my existence in this game. Oh my gosh, I hate her so much. Like I banished her to one of the floating islands. I was like, I'm done with you. Get out of here. So, but other than that, that's a main con I have is like let's go back to where Disney started. Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Snow White. You know, they brought in Jasmine and Belle, which is great, but I'd like to see more of those old characters too. I can't think of any of the other old ones coming out, but those are what I grew up on. So,
And that would have been a great way to build this game, bring out the characters in chronological order. Mickey Mouse and Goofy, obviously, because they were how Disney started, Steamboat Willie. That's how Disney started. And, bring those characters out. You had Sleeping Beauty, I think, came out in the 80s. Snow White came out in the 60s. I mean, they've been around a long time. So
yeah.
that would have been a great way to bring that out and then work your way up to now.
Dude, Snow White came out in 1937.
Really? I did not know that.
Really?
I thought it
Cinderella was
like
in the
the
1950s.
Damn.
And then Sleeping Beauty was in 1959. Yeah. I mean, Bambi was in 1942. So yeah, Snow White was I think it was one of the first Disney movies they did that wasn't a cartoon like Steamboat Willie.
Wow, I did not know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we see where my Disney knowledge went. What about you, Sapphire? What's your pros and cons list for this game? I turned away for this game.
Oh wow. My cons are definitely some of the same as yours, that sometimes you can't access your inventory unless you're transferring stuff to storage, or you can't access things, go through your collection stuff. Another thing is that certain quests will give you Dreamlight, but I think every quest should give Dreamlight. It shouldn't be something that you have to do very specific things for all the time, because you have to do a whole lot of quests for characters, and it should be a little bit more rewarding than just friendship points, especially when you already have them at level 10. It kind of is, okay, what do I get from this? Yeah. Besides advancing the story, it really just is okay. Especially when I just unlocked Olaf's area. I don't have the other area, and to get all the doors, I calculated this before where Olaf was. It was 59,000 Dreamlight I would need to unlock all the doors in both those areas. And that is just an insane amount that you want people just to grind through all these random little things for, that maybe sometimes give 500 at the most. So it's one of those things that if you really don't want to put a lot of time into this game, it's really not worth playing.
Yeah, I would agree.
And that really is what it is. This game it was honestly meant for you to put time into, because there's some things like certain companions that you have in this game, like some of the crocodiles or squirrels, or the rabbits that only appear at certain times in your day. Like I said, this is real time, like real world time. So they have certain stuff that only appear between 2 and 4 o'clock your time. And it's okay, so if I want that, I have to get on between these hours. It kind of forces you into playing different times of the day and for longer periods of time, which can kind of suck. So that is a big thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, it will turn a lot of people away. But there's really not a way out of it.
Yeah, that's what's been driving me nuts with it too, is the fact of you have to be on certain times, and it's well, what if people don't have that time to be,
Right.
They don't have that ability. If they could add in, so they have something on there where it's if you're hopping on at night, but you want to see your stuff during the daytime, you can move the time a couple of hours back, but it doesn't change it doesn't change the time in the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it
It's
only
just they're
changes
making it
the
brighter.
visual aspect of it.
Yeah. And I'm like, why can't we just add that in for people who aren't there at that time or can't be there at that time? You know, I wish that was something. I know that that's something that they're trying to work on, but in all honesty, I don't think they will fix.
I don't think so
Yeah.
either. Because one, that'll speed up the game a lot, you know, especially if you, with like I said, the story quests that require you to put a specific amount of hours real world to get to, it would kind of take away from those. And I mean, yeah, they're a con to me, but they are a good part of the game, I guess you could say. It's a for me, but you know, some people
Yeah.
might like that. But let's talk about the music, because that's everyone knows my favorite part of this show is talking about games music. I love music. So it is so great when you go to these different areas or you're standing next to different characters, you get to hear their music. And that's so cool. Like you get to hear music from the movies, like with Moana, or Elsa or Olaf or anything like that. You get to hear stuff that revolve around them. And I love that they did that. You get the Disney music, and that's fun to me. I appreciate it because it's nostalgia.
Oh yeah. And I love that they added that streamer mode too on it so you could turn it off, you know, when you're streaming so that you don't get in trouble. I appreciate them doing that a lot.
Oh, I did notice that. Yeah, that is
Yeah, it'll
cool.
say streamer mode. It'll turn it off. It'll put on music that is Disney's, but not like Tale as Old as Time or
Mm.
More open source stuff.
yeah, exactly.
What's your take on the
Exactly.
music, Sapphire?
I mean, pretty much the same as yours, that like different areas or different characters you can hang around with, and you'll kind of hear the instrumental things of their music. It is they add a little bit of a different thing to it, so it's not the exact, but you'll know what song it is and everything like that. Like I was running around with Wally one day, and it was the old movie he watches. It was like the tune from that.
Mm-hmm.
And you could hear him humming along to it and stuff like that, and I thought that was a pretty cool
Yeah,
little feature.
I forgot about that part. Yeah, they made that very, very well.
Yeah, and that
But
was one of the things I talked about earlier, you know, with the characters' little um quips that they make, the cheesy comments. Like with
mhm.
Elsa, she sometimes will say like the cold doesn't bother me anyways, which I think is pretty fucking awesome, you know, and
Oh yeah,
Wally humming his song or Mirabelle, you know, humming hers. I think those are pretty awesome that they did that.
absolutely. I agree with you.
So, would you recommend this game? And if so, who would you recommend it to?
Yes, and to any Disney loving aficionado. And anybody who's looking for like a quiet game to get to like restore yourself back into that Disney vibe. Because if you're looking to kind of get in touch with your inner kid again, go play Disney Dreamlight. Because whenever I'm feeling like the world is so much to like, I just can't deal with it anymore. I love just being able to put on a Disney movie and play the game with my favorite characters. Highly recommend it.
Sapphire.
Obviously, you got to be into Disney. Um, and people that are into games like Stardew and Animal Crossing, something that you're willing to put a lot of time into. Um, you obviously have to, be into like cozy games, but yeah, definitely something you want to put a lot of time into, that you're okay with just sitting there for hours getting things done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, I agree because it is a great way, especially as a Disney fan, someone that grew up on Disney, um, someone that loves everything Disney related. It is a great way to unwind. You know, if you want to just you're tired of playing Call of Duty, you're tired of getting frustrated, or you just had a bad day, it's so heartwarming and it's just so fun. And I love the way they have built a community around it. You can do the photo thing. um and you can upload your photos and you get to vote on other people's photos. And it's
Yes.
great, and you can build your valley however you want. You can reorganize everything, like everything. You can move the trees, the rocks, like everything. And I have seen some very, very awesome valleys. Like Squirrel here, hers is just phenomenal. Like I was sitting in Discord with her and she was showing off her valley while her and Sid were playing, and it's just phenomenal. And the amount of work she's put into it, um, you know, the creativity that you can have with this game and build your own like ideal Disney world is just, to me, it's fantastic.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So we're gonna start wrapping up here. We're gonna get to our news and updates. So these are not from me because everyone knows I do not prepare anything ever. I don't prepare. I'm very bad about that. So there's a new game coming out soon. Whenever it comes out, it comes out. I do not know the date, and none of us know the date, but we're gonna talk about it. So there is a game called Catly, and it is a survival style, somewhat open world adventure that you can build around cats. You get to do a lot of things with cats, and I'm gonna let Squirrel do a little more information on that because she's the one that told me.
Yeah. Every year I host a watch party for game shows. And we like to go through and talk about the different games that are coming out. So this is one that I wrote down in my notebook, actually upside down, which I thought was kind of funny. So it's easier for me to find. But basically, Catly is a game that you can it's basically Disney Dreamlight meets Cats. It's similar to it. You're able to meet various different characters. You don't know what those characters are in the videos that they have. They haven't really shown it. I'm assuming they're other cats or other cat-like creatures that you get to see, but you get to also build your world based off of cats. You get to build, obviously. You get to farm, race, ski. There's so many different things that you can do. Anything that you can think of, it'll probably be in Catly. I think you can have more than one cat that you can use, and you can dress up the cats. And you can care for them, feed them, make sure they have a really good life. So it's kind of a good area to build it. And if you go and take a look at it on Steam, it is beautiful so far with all the different things that they have. I'm definitely eyeing that ragdoll that they have in there for my little Oscar Bean. But it's a great game. It looks like it's going to be awesome. They don't have an announcement of the date yet. They thought it was going to be in March, but it does not look like to be the case. But I know that they're working on it. So, but yeah, it's also really interesting because if you pull it up and if you played Sea of Thieves, for some reason, it says that the Catly game is similar to Sea of Thieves, which makes zero sense to me. So I'm like, okay, the two are completely different things.
Man the sails, and you just see a cat jump up and unfurl it with his claws.
Literally.
So the next game did come out, and I have had the pleasure of watching Miss Squirrel and her wonderful man play together. Split Fiction, and this game is awesome. I think this is a contender for Game of the Year. Honestly, just from the time I got to watch it. It's from the creator of It Takes Two. It has so many different references to different stuff. Like there's references to Elden Ring, Gears of War, references to just about everything you can think of. This game put a reference to. It even has a reference to It Takes Two, which I think is really wholesome. To reference where you started. And it's a split screen adventure that kind of meshes fun and comedy for that would be honestly great for any co-op streamer couples out there, or even really good friends. It's just so fun to watch and so fun to see other people play. So I am looking forward to playing this as well.
Heck yes.
Maybe me and Sapphire will play it here soon, because we're always looking for new things, co-op things to play together.
Forewarning, it will test your relationship. Weston and I lost the last part that we just did, we both lost so much patience for each other at one point. I was like, I'm about to murder him.
Well, we test our friendship every day with how much we're smartasses to each other. Like, I can't wait for y'all to hear us on stream together. The way we talk to each other is ridiculous. It is the most abusive friendship I've ever had in my life. And
Honestly, I'm probably the worst.
So, but it's great. Honestly, the graphics, the gameplay. I mean, it's fun and it's hilarious. It is genuinely hilarious. There's a scene in there. It's not really a spoiler because I'm sure if you're listening to this, you probably watch, gameplay stuff and you've seen it. There's a scene where you're going through one of them and you have a phone that you're trying to unlock and you got to do a CAPTCHA and it just keeps going. And watching Morgan do that was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah,
and
I just let Weston take over. Just remember dash, jump, jump.
Yeah,
I would
and
take it. You got it, babe.
and watching Weston after they kept dying over and over, he's like dash, jump, run, dash, sprint. It was so hilarious.
He said after, he goes, if I didn't say that, I would not have made that. And I was like, yeah, I was too focused on what you were saying. And when I made the video, I was looking at how I was gaming, and I was like, girl, where are you going? I kept going backwards for some reason at points. I just let Weston take the lead. I was like, all right, keep going, man.
But it's so much fun to watch. Another new game that is also out, Frag Punch, or I keep saying Frag Punch, Frag Punk. I said it before we started this stream repeatedly, and I said it again. Frag Punk. It's as it was described to me, it is Overwatch meets Valorant meets Apex. It's a new shooter game that will bring a fresh take on shooters we've all grown up to hate, but we still play for some reason.
Yeah, definitely. Frag Punk, I've been playing it. I've been obsessed with it. Weston and myself played when the playtest came out last year, and we were head over heels for it. I love the gameplay. It's definitely a nice break from Apex because I hate that game, but I also love that game. I can't play Apex as much as I used to just because there's just so many things happening with it now that it's boring, in my opinion. It's just so repetitive. But Frag Punk, it's a different game each game because it's about these cards that you get, shard cards, and they allow you to break the rules of the combat situation that you're in. So meaning if you're in the middle of a game, so you can't slide in the game like you can in Apex or Call of Duty or anything. But if you get what's it called? If you get a shard card that's the frozen islands or frozen lands, I think is what it is, and you click on it and your team puts enough points to it to get it, you can slide around on the map. So it allows you to change it, or you could give each other, give the enemy team big heads so it's easier to shoot them in the head, stuff like that. You can make your heads smaller so they can't shoot your heads, So it's a lot of fun. It's very aggravating sometimes, in all honesty. I have come across a lot of cheaters already, which is annoying, but it is a brand new game. It only came out about a week ago. But it's pretty good. I like it.
And then our final game that we're going to talk about that is coming out, I believe it hasn't come out yet, is Atomfall. A nuclear disaster survival game where someone else makes a mess and you got to clean that shit up and rebuild society and not die from radiation in the process. And I will let Sapphire talk about this one.
Yeah, this one is supposed to come out on the 27th. It's inspired by real life events, and it's it was after a wind-scale nuclear disaster in northern England. So it's you're in a quarantine zone. You have to scavenge, craft, barter, and fight and talk your way through everything in it. They say in the description that's got bizarre characters, mysticism, cults, and rogue government agencies. So it's made by the studio behind Sniper Elite and Zombie Army. So I feel like it's kind of gonna be maybe a little bit like Fallout 4, but I feel at the same time it's gonna be quite different enough that it's gonna feel like something new when it comes to nuclear apocalypse. So
Nice.
And I guess we will probably be playing that because she is looking forward to it. She was telling me that earlier. How much
yeah, I've
she's
been
looking
looking
forward
forward
to
to
this
it.
game. So we'll probably end up on there at some point. So we do have one question for the show. And it's going to be a tough one to answer, and we probably won't have answers for it, but we're going to try. So we'll start with you, Squirrely Squirrel, the squirreliest of all squirrels. What was one of the worst games you played, but the music saved the game and you enjoyed playing it?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I'm taking a look at my list here. Music saved the game. Somebody else has one. You guys can go ahead and jump in front of me while I kind of look around.
Okay, well, we'll let Miss Swirly look, and I'll go ahead and answer because I have the answer ready. So for this, I picked Guitar Hero World Tour. The game sucked. The game was awful. Um, I did not enjoy the gameplay. It was buggy. You know, you had the vocals. You could sing it perfectly. It would say you're wrong. Um, Sometimes you had to sing it wrong just to get the points, and I hated that. Same with the drumming. It just didn't work out. But the music was great. The songs you got to choose, they did a great selection of classic rock, and um, I think that was the only upside. So I did enjoy playing it just for that aspect of being able to play those good songs that I've kind of been wanting from other Guitar Heroes in the past, but the game really missed really bad.
Yeah. I don't think I have any, in all honesty. Yeah.
And
All
I
the
think
games I've played so
Sapphire
far,
is
like.
the same. Right? You didn't have one either.
Yeah, if I don't like a game, music isn't gonna save it. I'm just, it's not gonna happen.
And I did think about this before the episode quite a bit. I was like, man, honestly, you know, I do love music. Music to me makes or breaks a game. But it was a really tough question to answer because I'm like, man, not a lot of games that have bad gameplay and good music. It's either one or the other. Or I mean a combination of both. You either have good gameplay and good music, or you have bad gameplay and bad music. It's just how it is. Um and that's usually most games. So it was a good question. Thank you for asking. Um so we do appreciate that. Our astronaut of the week, Mr. Gilded Rose. Thank you for being a part of our community. You've been with us since day one. You've been active in the community. You're always stirring up conversation. You've been on the show. We love you and appreciate you for being here so much. It's been so great having you, and thank you for supporting us. Woohoo. Our streamer of the week, of course, because she's here, is Miss Just Glad to Be Here. I mean, such a fantastic streamer. I thoroughly enjoy being around her. Like I said, we just randomly met. Like it was such a great experience to make such a good friend and someone that I enjoy playing with, even if it's just us hanging out in the Discord playing golf with friends. I mean, it's always a good time around her. I have not had a bad day with her. Not had a bad time watching her stream. If you haven't seen her stream, go show this woman love because she puts in a lot of work and a lot of dedication to her, not just her streams, but her community. She has built a network of great people, and they're all good people to be around. So, yeah, definitely show her love.
Thank
You can find her on twitch.tv/justglad, the number 2, the letter B, and here. It's really odd for me because I always get it wrong. Like, I really do. It's it's so weird to get it right for once, and yet I can't say frag punk. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It's frag punch now.
It's frag punch now. I'm gonna message Steam and be like, hey, you got to change the name. I can't say it right.
There you go.
On our socials, you can find us on Spotify. That's where we put all this out. TikTok. We do have a TikTok page. Is there anything on it? No. Will there be? Remains to be seen. I will try. Like I said, I suck at preparing for things. If you ever feel like you want to show us some support, show us some love, you can definitely check out our fourth wall. There will be a link in the description of the show. There's also a link in the Discord. We do have some merch. We also have a members section. You can subscribe to us through there. You can also donate if you would like. We don't ever ask you for your money. It's if you want to. I'm good either way. Though if you want to buy a shirt or a jacket, feel free to do so because I have made them. We did give away one of our things. That's kind of how we announced it to begin with. We gave away one of our coffee mugs, and I appreciate the feedback because they Beef wanted. He got the mug. He took some pictures for us, and he was like, "Hey, this part of it's a little stretched out. I mean, it still looks good, but he showed me where it was a little wonky when they printed it. So I went back and was able to make changes, and now it's fixed for the next person. So I appreciate that kind of thing. If you do buy something from us, please give me honest feedback. That way I can fix it because I'm not personally making it. I have bought some of the stuff so I can see what they look like, and I did make changes from there. But yeah. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you can find us everywhere. We're on YouTube, Twitch. Oh, that's the other announcement I wanted to make. We are going to be starting to live stream our episodes every now and then, probably aiming towards like 1 week out of each month that we're going to live stream an episode. Want to kind of get into that a little more, see how that goes. But Squirrel, where can everyone find you?
You guys can again find me at twitch.tv/ just glad to be here. The number 2, the letter BE here. Nope, just the letter B. I always forget it half the time, but we're here. We're always just glad to be here. You can also find me on TikTok with the same one, with the same name, but I'm pretty much around always, or in the Discord. We're always in there hanging out, playing games. So yeah.
Sapphire, where can people find you after they do a deep dive?
After they do a deep dive, well, I do have a Twitch. It's Sapphire_sniper. I haven't streamed for a long time though, so that's one thing I have to get back into. It's the same with Instagram and TikTok, except there's an _under_sniper because I couldn't get the other handle. I even have a YouTube channel, which I'm trying to do better on, and that would still be Sapphire_sniper, but I'm pretty much everywhere, to be honest. Twitter, Blue Sky, so.
Yeah.
Awesome. We love her. She is great. I am going to try to very sneakily get her into doing these things. until she gets to doing them herself, because she's awesome and the world should see how awesome she is. That being said, I would like to thank everybody for listening, for coming in, for still supporting this. We have almost hit 1 year of the Astronaut Arcade, and it has been a journey. We've had our ups and downs of, being in and out, and a lot of things happened last year. 2024 was a crap year, I think, for everybody. I mean, it just sucked.
Oh yeah.
So, we're here. We're here to stay. 2025, we're going to be doing a lot. There's going to be a lot of new stuff. If you have games that you would like us to talk about, people you would like to see on the show, friends that have a game they just are dying to talk about, please let me know. I will get them here. I will do this for as long as y'all will listen. So that being said, thank you for listening to the Astronaut Arcade Podcast, where we take one small step for man and a giant leap for gamerkind. And remember, Pluto is a planet.